Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mages, and earlier this week we saw the release of Mighty Number 9, the spiritual successor to Mega Man, one of my favorite games of childhood, by Inafune Keiji, the creator, the father of Mega Man himself. So you can bet that I was very excited for this game to come out. However, after seeing the review scores and seeing the reviews for the game a couple of days by various review outlets such as GameSpot, IGN, Destructoid, and Jim Sterling's on the Jimquisition website, I wasn't quite as impressed with how the game was doing. You can bet that my hope for the game went down the drain really fast. Even so, I still went ahead and bought the game and sunk in a couple of hours just to see what's wrong with it, what's the problem, why are the reviewers giving it such bad review scores. And after a couple of hours, I came up with the title of this video, that Mighty Number 9 is not the successor to Mega Man that we are looking for. Now please keep in mind that by no stretch of the imagination I am a professional critique reviewers for anything with games or anime. This is just my opinion. This video is just me wanting to address a couple points about why I think this game failed to live up to its promise as the Mega Man successor. Yes, this is gonna be a long one, so sit back, relax, and here goes my opinion. The first point I want to address is the game new mechanic cell absorption. Mighty Number 9 removed the well-known charge shot mechanic and replaced it with the cell absorption, which allows you to basically absorb your enemy by dashing into it after sufficiently damaging them with your standard blaster. Doing this will grant the protagonist spec temporary buffs such as damage increase, running faster, etc. And it's also one of the key factors of obtaining high score in this game. While this may sound super cool on paper, when I play the game myself, I find this mechanic to be very useless. For example, Beck already has the ability to infinitely dash on the ground and mid-air, which is going to be your main method of moving through any stages throughout the game, therefore making the speed boost buff becoming obsolete. And also, any sort of power buff doesn't give you that big of a damage boost anyway. Since you don't have the charge shot mechanics in this game anymore, it means you would have to mash the fire button to deal any damage to the bosses, the enemies in this game. This means Beck is simply X, the original Mega Man from way before he has the charge shot ability, fighting in a world that absolutely needs that power. You don't want to know how many times I wish I had the charge shot ability while I played the game. I don't press the fire button fast enough. I just want the charge shot ability back. I'm one of those people that cannot press the fire button fast enough to save my own goddamn life. There are times where I end up dying or taking free damage because I don't fire fast enough. So moving on to my second point I'd like to address is the game's glaring difficulty spikes and balancing issue. Stages in Mighty Number 9 are littered with pitfalls and instant death booby traps that can easily caught you off guard when you play any stages for the first time. This became even worse when the game only offers the players 2 extra lives at the beginning of any stages, meaning if you died, if you failed the stages, you're going to have to restart the whole stage and be forced to go through the cheap instant death traps again. This also means going through the stage from the beginning to the boss can simply boil down to repetitively going through the stage over and over again, and just remember each and every little pitfalls and where the position of the enemies throughout the stages. There are times where this happened to me, and when I reached the boss, I thought to myself, that's it. That's all I gotta do. I just gotta remember this pitfall. I just gotta remember that it has this spikes here. I had to jump this high and just dash, 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 dash. The game left me feeling like an idiot rather than any sort of sense of accomplishment because I managed to get from the start of a level to the boss. It's supposed to be an achievement. I usually feel those achievements back when I was playing the original Mega Man games, but in this game, it's rather dull. Bosses in this game are no exception. One of the most infuriating about bosses is that a few bosses have the ability to lock you down in one spot, attacking you to half health before you could break yourself free by simply mashing more buttons. One of the earliest bosses you could encounter in the game, I think he was the the ice penguin or something like that. It was on the ice robot. His name was Cryo something. I couldn't quite remember, but he has the ability to freeze you on the spot. And for some reason, when you're frozen, you're not given a grace period when you're getting attacked. Therefore, he can immediately take down half of your health. For me, it makes these bosses feel cheap and cheating, and it made me not wanting to fight against these bosses again if I can help it. Both Mega Man and My Number 9 provides challenge to the players, but Mega Man is much better at smoothing out the learning curves and gives the players a feeling they can genuinely overcome these challenges as long as they can keep trying. The cheap deaths and booby trap in My Number 9 can easily do the opposite and drive players away. And finally, I'd like to come to my last point, and I think this is the biggest reason why Mighty Number 9 is not the Mega Man successor that we are looking for. What I think is the biggest problem with this game is Concept or Inafune tried too hard to make this game appeal to both the old school Mega Man fans and the newcomers. Upon going through many of the reviews by IGN, GameSpot, Destructoid, and Jim Sterling, I noticed one thing that's common among the reviews of this game is how they commented on Mighty Number 9's unoriginality. How everything in the game, from level designs to enemy design, doesn't feel unique and wasn't as well done as the past Mega Man games, and how it feels more like a carbon copy than a spiritual successor. If you play any of the past Mega Man games, you will find the bosses feels unique and the techniques and methods to defeat them will be different from one to the other, making them memorable. Players will find themselves wanting to go back, fight the bosses they already defeated, to develop new ways of fighting them. This was also the case for me when I was a very young child. On the other hand, the common method of defeating every bosses in Mighty Number 9 seems just be very fast. You just gotta be very fast with your dashes and the fire button, which brings the very opposite result. In Mighty Number 9, that's basically it. Be very fast with your dash buttons and just be very fast with your fire button. And this is only one of the many comparisons you could make. Right off the bat, I felt the game was under-polished since it seems like there were so many things planned to be done for the game, but it wasn't in the final product. This suspicion of mine was confirmed when Kotaku released an article about Inafune's comment on Mighty Number 9, how he expressed his responsibility for the game's unsuccessful launch. I will leave the link in the description below for those who want to read the full article. In one section talking about the game's multiple ports, Inafune said, quote unquote, "In my many years at Capcom was known for their multi-platform strategy, but they ever do 10 SKUs all at the same time. He's trying too hard to get the game out to as many people as he can. And combined it with the game's lack of originality made me came to the conclusion that if Inafune tried too hard to lower the barrier to entry for newcomers to something Mega Man-ish while being afraid to steer too far away from his route to keep the old school fans from being displeased. And the result is Mighty Number 9 became more of a carbon copy, a clone, rather than a successor. Despite all these complaints of mine, I'll still keep Mighty Number 9 in my Steam library just to see if patches can fix the problems that this game has, but I doubt it will be enough to fix all the problems this game has. But right now, all I can do is hope that Bloodstain will not go down the same path, which might not be the case after all because it's promising 3D demo. I keep my fingers crossed for Bloodstain. And that is my opinion for Mighty Number 9. I know it's a bit of a long one, so I'm sorry if you find it's a little bit boring, but thank you if you actually managed to listen to my opinion until the very end of this video. So what do you guys think? Have you played Mighty Number 9? Do you like it, or do you like the original Mega Man games more? Leave it in the comment section below. I would love to hear you thought. With that being said, don't forget to leave a like in this video before you sign out, because Mages is also signing out. Have a wonderful gaming evening.